What's going on, guys? JayzTwoCents here, bringing you a new and updated version of Intel versus AMD for gamers, and what to buy if you guys are in the market for a brand new processor for your gaming PC, or maybe you're just looking to upgrade. Now, the last time I did this, it was 2012, and since then we've had some refreshes on various CPUs and chips and things. So, oh my goodness, where to start with this? It is a very, very debated topic on which is better for gamers, AMD or Intel. And you know what? Whether you like AMD or whether you like Intel, I think the bottom line is that you guys are right. Both chips are great at what they do. Intel tends to be a little bit more expensive, and AMD tends to have a bit more bang for your buck. There's no doubt about that. But when it comes to i7 versus the FX 8350 or something along those lines, you know, the only place... Now, I've owned both of these chips. I've owned the FX 8350 overclocked to 5.14 gigs at its highest, and a stable benchmarking at that speed. And I'm currently using a 3770K overclocked to 4.8 gigahertz day-to-day usage. Now, you guys know I do a lot of rendering and things when I'm doing this whole YouTube thing, and so I really push these processors to the limit, and sometimes for extended periods of time, so 20-25 minutes worth of rendering at one time. And I can tell you right now, one of the most wasted changeovers I ever made to my PC was switching from the 8350 to the Intel 3770K. Now, why do I say that? Why do I say it's wasted? Well, when I made the change, I paid for everything out of pocket. I mean, I wasn't getting product sent to me, so I wasn't talking out of a biased, oh, well, you know, Intel's great because it was free, haha. And no, I paid out of pocket to make that switch, and it cost me, well, to go with my ASRock OC Z77 formula board, yeah, that was over about 230 bucks, and I paid about, I think, 300 bucks for my Intel. So we were talking well over $500 once you take tax into account. And I moved from my 8350, which was my Crosshair 5 formula from ASUS Republic of Gamers line, and the 8350, which was overclocked to 5.14 max. And again, I ran that at 4.8 day-to-day, doing all my tasks and things, and all my overclocking and all of my rendering and gaming. And you know, the only place that AMD lost was in benchmarks. And in gaming, yeah, there may have been a couple of frames per second difference, but really it was negligible. It wasn't even noticeable to your human eye, because we were talking, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of, like right now, I'm playing Battlefield 4 in this commentary. Ultra settings, everything is maxed out as high as it can go. MSAA, ambient occlusion, everything maxed out. And I'm getting, I think I was getting about 90 frames per second right now when we were playing. And AMD, I haven't used my AMD on BF. I didn't have BF4 when I had my AMD rig. However, my brother-in-law just upgraded to the 8300 series FX 8-core, and I can tell you right now, there's no difference. I mean, we have the same graphics card. We both have GTX 680s hacked and overclocked in custom BIOS, so they're really, really comparable. And you know, that's really the only thing I can say when it comes to the two, is that the only place the differences really show are on the benchmarks. Now, who cares about benchmarks? Unless you're an overclocker and you're looking to compete and go to competitions and things like the OC overclocking event I went to at CES, you know, you're not going to notice this. So, if you're looking at building yourself a gaming rig, I see no reason why you should overlook AMD. Now, at the same time, this doesn't mean there's anything wrong with Intel. But what it does mean as consumers and as gaming rig builders, you should really consider AMD for the simple fact that you're going to get very close to Intel performance in real-world application. What I mean by real-world is right now, while we're playing this game, you're not going to notice 5 frames per second difference. You're not going to notice that Intel may have scored a little bit higher on the PhysX than AMD. And AMD, I mean, you know, CPU can do PhysX. Well, that's a whole different conversation. But anyway, I digress. You're not going to notice the difference enough to warrant paying an extra $100 or $150 for an Intel build. Now, if you're considering going AMD FX series or like an X79 platform, God, the price difference is just so different between the two. There's just, I mean, we're talking more than double the price, even to go with the lowest end X79, even if you're staying on the Ivy Bridge platform, or the excuse me, the Sandy Bridge E platform, like the 3930K or something like that, that's a whole different ballgame, and I can't even begin to justify that. In fact, the X79 platform isn't even something that would really be suited towards gamers, in my opinion. Anyway, it's more towards renderers and graphics artists and Photoshop and things like that become really intensive, where you need all 12 threads that CPU, the X79 platform can offer, if you happen to go with a 6-core CPU anyway, with those with that Intel line. But again, I'm getting a little bit off topic here. If you are right now considering building a computer and you are torn on whether or not to get AMD or Intel, my official 2 cents, and JayzTwoCents is saying it here today, going with AMD is not a mistake. In fact, I've already said it in this video. Going from AMD to Intel was a cost mistake. I gained some points in 3D Mark, and I gained some Cinebench score and things like that, but I didn't gain anything in the real world. In fact, even when it comes to rendering, my 8350 had no problems whatsoever rendering in real time. I mean, I was able to render video. If it was a 10-minute video and it had all kinds of transitions and effects and stuff, I could still render the video in 10 minutes, sometimes 11, depending on how many overlays I had. But the bottom line here is AMD is a great contender. And I'm talking specifically with the FX line, mostly because I have not gotten a chance to use Kaveri. It's not even really out yet. I'll probably get an opportunity to do something with Kaveri. I'm sure I've got some motherboards that are going to be on their way, and maybe we can put the Kaveri to the test against the 4670K, the i5 I have in my test bench. But guys, if you're building a system, do not overlook AMD. Do not listen to the haters and the fanboys out there telling you that AMD is garbage. Because you know what? The reality of it is, you're not going to notice the difference. You're going to save yourself some money that you can drop into higher quality components where it does matter for gamers, like your graphics card. And you can get higher quality memory, or even a motherboard with a little bit better features, maybe a little bit better built-in sound card. So, Intel versus AMD, I'm saying it right now. There's nothing wrong with Intel, and there's nothing wrong with AMD. I'm using Intel. Doesn't mean I won't use AMD in the future. You're not going to notice the difference. Ignore the fanboys, save some money on your CPU, go with an AMD FX 8350, even an FX 6300 or 6350. It's going to be more than enough for gaming. Battlefield 4 is using all 8 threads available to it, but you know, this is just the beginning. Computers are going to start using more threads as time goes on, which means the CPUs are going to start becoming more and more optimized towards gaming, which means that the FX 8350 or the 6-core and 8-core AMDs are going to become much better utilized, which is why they're becoming a much better player in the gaming market. So in conclusion, because I'm once again losing my voice because I haven't talked this much since I came back from CES, oh god, do not overlook AMD. Ignore the haters. Ignore the fanboys, and please ignore those who definitely have no first-hand experience. My first-hand experience is telling me to tell you to consider AMD for a gaming build. That's the bottom line. There's nothing wrong with Intel. It's a little bit better on some of the higher performance tasks like rendering and 3D imaging and things like that. But you know what? Most of you that are watching this video right now, and if you're needing this information and you're listening to it right now, you're not going to be doing that kind of stuff. And so you can save yourself the money. Guys, it's been JayzTwoCents. Thanks for listening to this video. If you liked it, you sure as hell know what to do. And if you didn't like it, please mash that dislike button. Believe it or not, it helps. I'm going to get on out of here, guys. And as always, I will see you in my next video.